What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. If you want to stay updated with Ravens content, make sure that the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video, because today's video is obviously coming out very early because there was Ravens news. Now, I really want to know what you guys think about this because the Baltimore Ravens have cut Leveon Bell. Now, there could be a variety of reasons as to why they cut him. Perhaps they just felt like he wasn't performing to the level that they wanted. Perhaps it was kind of in an agreement that when they signed him, they said, "Hey, we'll play you for 5 games. You'll be able to get your name back out there, get back on the field, show people you can still play, and then you can go wherever you want to go." Maybe they just felt like I don't think it was a locker room issue or anything like that. I haven't heard anything about him causing trouble, starting fights, complaining or anything like that. So that's good. He had a positive outlook when he got cut. Like, he wasn't like, "Oh man, screw the Ravens" or anything like that. There was nothing like that released, or at least not yet. So, I think it was a good, quote unquote breakup between the Ravens and Leveon Bell. But I just got to talk about what this means for this team. I'll talk a bit about what it means for Leveon, but if you look at his stats, he was getting about 4 to 6 carries a game. His biggest game coming against the Vikings, where he had 11 carries, ended up rushing for 48 yards. He did have the 2 touchdowns. He's probably the Ravens' best goal line back outside of Latavius Murray. But overall, he wasn't averaging a crazy yards per attempt. He only had one game where he averaged over 3 yards per attempt, and that would be in the Vikings game. His longest rush, let's see if I can find this. Overall, I don't think I can find it on Football Ref or Pro Football Reference, but it was nothing long. Like, my assumption would be that it was like, oh, look at that, it's 12 yards. I was going to say my assumption would be that it was about 11 yards. It was 12 yards, and I found it on Pro Football Reference. 12 yards was his longest rush. He wasn't explosive. He wasn't terrible by any means. Obviously, the Ravens' O-line is a line that struggles, but I think that this shows that the Ravens want to move in a different direction with the running backs. They've shown that they really like what they've seen from Devontae Freeman recently. He's definitely improved. Latavius Murray looked pretty decent when he was starting earlier in the year. Now, John Harbaugh made some comments about Tyson Williams and what he would need to do, and he basically was like, "Yeah, if you're a running back, you actually got to break some tackles. You actually got to, fight for extra yards. You got to block. You got to run routes." And it was seemed like he was really kind of slandering Tyson Williams, which leads me to believe that the Ravens are really going to be utilizing Devontae Freeman and Latavius Murray. But there is another candidate. Why would the Ravens cut Le'Veon Bell if they only have 3 running backs? I've heard a lot of people bringing up the name Nate McCrary lately, myself included. I love Nate McCrary. I really wanted Nate McCrary to make this team over Tyson Williams. I felt like he was the better running back. I felt like he fought for a little bit more yards. He ran a little bit harder. I don't think he was as fast top speed, but he was a little bit quicker when he was going into holes and making those cuts. Nate McCrary's on our practice squad. He's been one of the protected practice squad players like each of the last, I want to say, 3 weeks. Ever since he's been on the practice squad, he's been protected going into every single game. I think the Ravens could very well give him a shot. And I feel like that is a very smart thing to do, because Nate McCrary is just one of those guys that will give you those extra yards. He's like one of those players in basketball where maybe they're not a great shooter or a great passer, a great ball handler, but they're going to go out there and they are going to hustle every play. And Nate McCrary hustles. He churns his legs at every moment in time. He is not afraid to block. Is he amazing in pass protection? No. But he's not afraid to do it. And he will get in the way and he will take a shot from an edge rusher or a linebacker, which is not something that we've seen out of the Ravens' other running backs. Latavius Murray has done it a little bit, so he's probably been the best pass blocker out of the running backs. But then in terms of the pass catching game, he actually did a lot better than I was expecting in the preseason. Nate McCrary, that is. He was actually running they weren't amazing routes by any means. He wasn't Christian McCaffrey or Austin Eckler out there, but he was running routes and he was catching the football with soft hands. And that's all the Ravens really need. Just a guy that'll catch the football when Lamar Jackson checks it down. And that'll be able to turn upfield and say, I'm not going to just go out of bounds. I'm going to hit as many people as possible. We want a guy that's going to fight like Patrick Ricard, not a guy that fights like Hollywood Brown did the last 2 years. Hollywood's gotten a lot better at that in terms of like, using contact, getting a couple extra yards rather than going out of bounds. But like we saw Tyson Williams this year on fourth down, just like step out of bounds. That was against the Bengals. None of that. The Ravens don't want that at all. So overall, I think that the Ravens cutting Le'Veon Bell is not only a sign that they really like the veterans that they have, but also that they're confident that they will have another guy step up. And whether that's Tyson Williams improving, or I think that they will call up Nate McCrary at some point later in the season. I don't know if it'll be this week, but it could very well be next week or the week after that, because they want to see what he's got. And he does have a lot of skill. He does have good power. He does have a great work effort or work ethic, puts in the effort every single play. So, Le'Veon Bell, obviously, I don't know if he did enough to like secure that he'll get signed by another team. He could. There's been some injuries at running back. The Packers just lost Aaron Jones with a minor, I want to say MCL tear. It's like or maybe it is MCL strain. He's out like 1 to 2 weeks. But maybe they look at a running back. The Cardinals just lost Chase Edmonds potentially for the rest of the year. I'm pretty sure for at least like 6 weeks or something like that. So maybe the Cardinals are looking for a running back. But I don't think he was good enough for teams to be like, oh my goodness, Le'Veon Bell was cut. We need to go sign him. But I think it was to a point where teams wouldn't be like, okay, we're not signing him no matter what. I think he was better than that. I think teams will be iffy. But if they need a running back, he can potentially do that job. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about Le'Veon Bell. What does it mean for Le'Veon? What does it mean for the Ravens? Could they bring up Nate McCrary? What do you think about it? Like, was it a stupid move? Was it a great move? Let me know. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content, and I'll see all of you again tomorrow with a live stream, probably around 7:30 or 7:45 Eastern time. Thank you. I'll see all of you again then.